All right. Kyle, can you?
Yes. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you spending some time with us before Bristol this weekend. And we are going to roll straight into questions so we can maximize our time with Kyle. And to kick us off, we're going to go to Mark Garrow. Go ahead with your question, Mark.
You're muted.
How about that? I muted when unmuted. Okay, there we go. Everybody has talked about you being a favorite for this race. Do you feel you're a favorite? If so, why or why not?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm considered a favorite probably at most racetracks right now, but I think with it being a dirt track, yes, I think people look at me with all the experience that I have on dirt as being even more of a favorite. But these cars are way different than what I typically race on dirt. So they don't drive anything like what I'm used to with a sprint car or a midget or now a dirt late model. So these cars are way heavier and a lot less horsepower than I'm used to on a dirt track. So I still think, I've got a good shot, but I don't really know if I have an advantage over anybody other than just being able to kind of read the track surface and know kind of how that's changing and where to find grip and things like that. Really, I think that's probably the only advantage any of us dirt guys have over somebody who hasn't had much dirt experience.
And my other question is, of all the dirt track races you've ever run, have you ever run anything remotely close to 250 laps in a single race? And what do you think of that?
I have not. That was loud. I can hear myself. No, I guess Eldora and the truck would be the only other thing, and I don't really remember how many laps. 150, but yeah, it'll be long, but the track will change a lot, so just got to stay on top of that, and hopefully our Freightliner Chevy's good, and we can stay out front for most of it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we'll take our next question. And if you don't mind, just make sure your mute button's on just so we don't hear that feedback. And for our next question, we're going to go to Bob Pockris. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Kyle, you have your foundation on the iRacing car tonight, and I was wondering whether it was difficult at all to decide to do that, because that would potentially bring light to the venue where the incident happened.
No, I mean, I've been on iRacing for a while now, so no, I don't. It was easy to get back on as soon as they unsuspended me on there towards the tail end of last year. So I've used iRacing quite a bit over the off season, and even really get ready for the road course race at Daytona. I used it a bunch. So yeah, I mean, now to be able to have the opportunity to showcase my foundation, I think that's exciting, and hopefully it gets a lot of coverage.
Thank you.
Okay, for our next question, we're going to go to Woody Kane. Go ahead, Woody.
Hey, Kyle, thanks for your time. With you having already been to Phoenix this year, which you guys call a short track, Bristol's going to be completely different in terms of short tracks with the dirt all over it. Will it be Martinsville before you have a really good handle on where things are with your short track program, and how do you feel about that race? Hendrick Motorsports has typically been very good there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I felt really, really good at Phoenix. We had kind of an awkward set of tires there that last run that we think got us off. But if not for that, I felt like we had the first or second, maybe third best car there that day. So I would say, judge off that, our short track program's good, but also judging off of how they were last year as an organization, they were great. So yeah, my Martinsville is a place that I struggle at, I think, more than my equipment that I've had in the past. So I'm definitely curious to see, how I'll be there, being with a team who just, won the last event there at Martinsville. So hopefully I'm better than normal, but I'm pretty confident kind of, going to any racetrack right now. I think our team's been doing a great job.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thanks.
Okay, our next question is going to come from Dustin Long. Go ahead, Dustin.
Thanks. Hey, Kyle, a couple questions. You mentioned in the past that Eldora would get so slick, it would kind of be like a worn out pavement track. And I'm curious, after running at Bristol last week, I know you're going to run a lot more laps this week. Do you anticipate that being the case at Bristol where it becomes more like that worn out track? And if so, does that take away the advantage a dirt guy has over somebody with less experience?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it's going to be, but yes, I would assume, yeah, it's going to be really slick. It'll probably slow down a lot. And I don't think it's going to drive like an aggressive style dirt car that I'm used to. So yeah, I mean, I think that if anything evens the playing field a lot, for guys who don't have dirt experience. So, we'll see how it goes though. I don't know what to expect. I think I have a little bit more of an idea now after racing there last week, but still there's a lot of unknown because the cars are different, the tires are different than what I ran last week. So we'll see.
Also, Chris Wyndham, I believe, said he's talked to you leading into this event to kind of get a little bit of experience and idea about it. I'm just curious how you think somebody like him can do and, you know, what it means to you to see some of the dirt guys be able to take part in this event with you.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. You know, Chris and Golubic are two guys that I've raced with for a long time now. So for them to have the opportunity to go out there and hopefully do a great job is something I'm going to be paying attention to. I would love to see them run, you know, up front and battling for a win, but I think that'll be really hard, you know, just because even though it's a dirt track and we've never done it, you know, a team like Hendrick Motorsports has way more knowledge and experience probably of setting up a car to go to Bristol than the teams they're racing for. So I still think that they'll be, you know, kind of fighting an uphill battle, but I think with their driving talents, you know, hopefully they can crack inside the top 20 or if it is really even, you know, maybe into the top 15 or 10 and have an awesome day.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, our next question will come from Nate Ryan. Go ahead, Nate.
Thanks, Amanda. Hey, Kyle, I'm sure you guys had a chance to debrief over the last couple of days about Atlanta. Any takeaways for you and, you know, for the team, for Cliff about how the race went, maybe how you would have handled the final run?
Yeah, I mean, I think first off, a lot of positives from the day, really. You know, we had a dominating car and did a great job as a team, really all race long. I think just it kind of falls in my lap of just playing out that last stage wrong, where, you know, I think Blaney got a lot better. I think the Blaney got a lot better. The track picked up a lot of pace, you know, with it cooling down, and we had longer runs. And that was probably as hard as I ran all race, just because I was trying to get out to that big-ish lead that I had before. And, you know, I wasn't getting that big lead, so I was still trying really hard to get out there and get away. But I wish I just would have realized that, you know, I wasn't getting away as quickly as I thought I could, and kind of aborted that plan and went into tire save mode. That way, I still think maybe he would have caught me by the end of the race, but I would have had more tire to maybe hold him off and more tire to get by, you know, Joey and just run my own pace there kind of at the end, rather than trying to fight off Ryan and work really hard to get by lap cars.
There was some discussion, Kyle, about like, would it have helped you if you would have had more info on where Blaney was running? Obviously, he was running a higher line than you, especially in a couple of those turns. What's your take on that? Would it have helped you if you would have had more info? And I guess also as an offshoot of that, I mean, were you surprised that he was able to get that kind of momentum and run you down from the high side?
Well, it wasn't like he was running the high side every lap. So I could look in my mirror and I knew where he was running. I just, you know, I asked, I think a couple times, where he was running, just to really know if he was running like a few feet different than me, that I could maybe try and find some extra grip. But he just did a really good job managing his stuff that last run, and I didn't, and he capitalized on you know, my error and strategy, I guess, for that final run to the end.
Gotcha. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, our next question will go to Kyle Foster with Napa Sports. Go ahead, Kyle.
Thank you. So Kyle, honestly, you've already got your win. Into this weekend, how much relief is it that you've already got that win, that you don't have to win this race to get in the playoffs?
I mean, I don't think I would have viewed it any differently. I don't think I'd view any weekend differently. I want to win every weekend. So it doesn't relax me anymore. It wouldn't have made me any more stressed going in there. It's still early in the year, and we've been running well. I'm been confident that we're going to make the playoffs no matter what, based off just sheer speed and being with a great team. Had we started the year off badly or average and been around that bubble spot right now with no win going into Bristol, yeah, I would probably have a lot more pressure on me to go win. But we've been running well, so that doesn't change my mindset now going into Bristol.
And then you're a dirt guy, so I'd imagine there's going to be some different changes around this weekend, even though you're in a stock car, like that normal NASCAR fans like me are used to. Like, what should we really look out for? Like, obviously there's qualifying races. There's a bunch of different format changes. Can you talk about some of the differences that NASCAR fans will notice?
Yeah, I think NASCAR's tried to adapt a short track, dirt track kind of format into their event, which I think is pretty cool. With the random draw for where you start and then passing points, I think is cool. It's still a different passing points format than say we would have at the Chili Bowl. Chili Bowl, you get penalized for going backwards. Where here at this event, to keep it simple, so NASCAR fans who aren't used to passing points can follow along. It's just you really only get points for going forward. You don't lose anything for going backwards, which is simpler for the fan to understand. But as a competitor from dirt track, I wish that there would be a penalty for going backwards in the heats. But so I mean, other than the format, I don't really know off the top of my head like what's different from a normal kind of race. We still have stages. We don't have live pit stops, but it'd be similar to kind of how Eldora is, aside from just the way they line up the heats.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Kyle.
Thanks.
Okay, our next question will come from Anton with ASN Media. Go ahead, Anton.
Thanks, Amanda. Good afternoon, Kyle. It goes without saying that you're one of the clear favorites at the Bristol Dirt this weekend, but who do you consider to be your biggest opponent at Bristol Dirt?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I would not be shocked if a pavement guy went there and was fast right off the bat, because I don't think it's going to be like dirt like we're used to. But it's hard to also not look at the guys who have a lot of dirt experience as being a favorite. So, I think Christopher Bell, I think he's, obviously one of the most talented race car drivers I've ever watched, but especially on dirt. So I think for sure he'll be one of the guys to beat. Austin Dillon is another one that I look at because, if anybody's got more experience racing on this type of stuff, it's him. I've got probably still under 10 dirt late model events under my belt, where he grew up racing modifieds and late models and stuff, so he's used to the heavier things, the heavier types of cars. He just raced a crate late model there, so he's used to less horsepower and stuff in a full body car. So I think Austin, if anybody, probably has the most advantage. But I also wouldn't be surprised if a guy like Kyle Busch, who's so talented and can adapt to anything, can go there and win. I really don't. I wouldn't be shocked either if like the finishing results weren't much different than a normal Bristol race.
Thank you. Wishing you all the best for tonight and this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, our next question will come from Michael Schultz. Go ahead, Michael.
Thank you very much. Well, Kyle, you mentioned no live pit stops during this event. Jamie Little of Fox Sports tweeted out about a half hour ago, just talk to a Hendrick crew chief. Some/most teams aren't bringing their pit crews to Bristol. Roster limitations mean mechanics and fabricators are essential. Without giving too much away, Just what kind of adjustments have you and your team had to make, and car-wise in preparation for this race?
I don't know. I really couldn't give you an honest answer because I haven't talked to anybody about that. Obviously, I knew there was no live pit stops, so I assumed we wouldn't have our pit crew there. But that's really not a big deal. I don't know what the amount of time is they allow us on pit road for pit stops, but we won't be in a rush. So if we don't have damage and stuff like that. So that'll be good. And two, as far as like car stuff that they've had to change, I don't know. I don't ever get into that stuff. So I just kind of show up and put the steering wheel on and hit the gas pedal.
And just with the victory at Vegas and the dominant effort at Atlanta last weekend, is this where do you expect that you would be this competitive, coming back right now at this point in the year at the start of this with this new team?
I had hoped that we could start the year off this strong or close to being this strong, but I didn't know, and I honestly expected that we wouldn't start off this good. Just me being out of the car for a long time, going to a new team and organization, and being with a whole new crew. I just didn't know if things would be way different, and I would have to have a lot of things to adapt to, but our cars have been really good and fast, and it's made things not easy, but easier than I thought to come back in. And I've also worked really hard to get up to speed as quickly as I've been, studying more than I've ever studied and trying to just prepare more than I've ever prepared. So with no practice, you kind of have to put in that work during the week, which is fun as a driver.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go to Bob Pockris for a follow-up. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Kyle, we saw you race Eldora in a truck. So can we expect what we saw in Eldora on how the trucks raced to be kind of similar to the way Cup cars will do at Bristol? Or do you think the difference in the track, the banking, doesn't look like there's a cushion? Is it going to be totally different?
I think it'll be similar but different. Eldora didn't really have a cushion either. I guess the year that I won it kind of had a cushion, but yeah, Bristol, I don't think will have a cushion. It's just that type of surface doesn't really pack up and build a cushion. But I think it'll be a similar style race, but I think with Bristol having more banking, we'll kind of have more grip than we had at Eldora. So we'll have the confidence probably in our cars to be able to move around, and I actually think it'll be a better race because of it. I watched the street stocks and stuff this past weekend, and they were able to run like 3 or 4 wide at times, and it was fun racing. So I think it'll be similar to that. If you want to pull up some street stock highlights, Bob, and take a look, I think it'll be similar to that style of racing.
So if I pull up the highlights of you tearing the right side off of the truck, I shouldn't expect that on Sunday?
Well, the wall is a lot lower at Bristol, so if I'm up that high, I'm cheese grating the right side of my car probably with the catch fence. But I hope to not have to lean on the wall like that to be fast.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take another question. McFadden, go ahead, Kyle.
Hey, Kyle, you've been looking at data more now than you have ever have over the course of your career. So when you look back at data from Atlanta, is there a piece, I guess, or a stat or a piece of data that you're looking at as extra valuable for, I guess, managing your stuff better for the rest of the season? And I guess just how valuable is a day like Atlanta to just learn more things just about the being in those situations?
Yeah. I honestly haven't looked at any data after Atlanta, just because I'm pretty confident in knowing what I did wrong. And I think, Ryan was just more disciplined than I was, and did a better job of not running 100% in saving his stuff. So yeah, I mean, as far as driving style, it's hard to like really look at that stuff. And you know, I ran all race a certain driving style way, you know, throttle, brake, whatever, steering inputs and stuff. So, you know, if I look at Ryan's stuff and he's got, you know, less wheel input or something like that, like I don't know if it's going to teach me a ton in that moment, but I think just what teaches me and watching the race and kind of just how good he was in the long run is just, you know, how he paced his lap time and didn't slip a tire and took care of his stuff.
Thank you.
All right, Kyle, we appreciate your time and we really appreciate you spending some of it with us today. And we wish you the best of luck this week in Bristol.
Thank you.